Hey guys, welcome back to the Network Fixer. Imagine this, a country wakes up one morning and nothing works. No internet, no mobile network, airports frozen, banks inaccessible, military unable to communicate. But there are no bombs, no fighter jets in the sky, no visible enemy. Yet the damage is real. Now, here is the scary part. This is not science fiction, this is modern warfare. Today, wars are not just fought on land, air, or sea, they are fought inside servers, networks, and invisible code. A single cyber attack can disrupt an entire nation's defense system. A single breach can expose secrets worth billions. And a single vulnerability can change the outcome of a war. Welcome to a world where networks are battlefields, data is ammunition, hackers are soldiers, and cybersecurity is the only shield. In this video, we are going to break down everything: how networking powers military operations, why cybersecurity is critical in wars, how cyber attacks actually impact conflicts, the role hackers play behind the scenes, what kind of secrets are at risk, and how all this affects not just armies, but you, me, and entire countries. Let's begin. Prior to all this, we should understand how warfare evolved. To understand cyber warfare, we need to understand how war itself evolved. Initially, it was all through physical warfare. Earlier, wars were simple. Armies met on battlefields. Weapons were physical. It was in the form of swords, guns, cannons. Victory depended on strength, strategy, and numbers. The next evolution was in the form of industrial warfare. Then came machines. World wars introduced tanks, aircraft, submarines. Communication improved but still limited. The next evolution was in the form of information warfare. This is when things got changed. Information became powerful. Whoever had better intelligence won battles, anticipated enemy moves, and also controlled outcomes. This introduced radar systems, surveillance, early communication networks. The next evolution was in the form of cyber warfare. Now we are here, where wars can begin without a single soldier moving. Today, data is more valuable than weapons. Networks control military operations. Cyber attacks can disable entire systems, and most importantly, you don't need to cross borders to attack a country anymore. We also should understand how networking powers modern military. Let's get into the backbone of everything: networking. Without networking, modern military operations would collapse. The first one is with the military communication systems. Every military unit depends on communication. Soldiers talk to commanders, commanders coordinate operations, intelligence teams share data. These communications happen over encrypted radio networks, satellite links, secure internet systems. If this communication breaks, confusion begins, missions fail, lives are at risk. The next type of networking is satellite-based networking. Satellites are critical. They provide GPS navigation, real-time surveillance, missile guidance, weather monitoring. Imagine losing GPS during a war. Missiles miss targets, troops lose direction, operations will fail instantly. The next thing to consider is with the command and control systems, or C2. This is the brain of the military. Command centers collect data from satellites, sensors, field units, and then analyze it, make decisions, send instructions back. All of this happens through networks. If someone compromises this system, they can mislead commanders, they can delay decisions, they can definitely create chaos. The newer systems are coming up with autonomous and remote systems. Modern warfare uses drones, unmanned vehicles, remote weapon systems. These rely heavily on networks. If network control is lost, these systems can stop functioning, these can be hijacked, else this will become useless. If we consider real-time data sharing, speed is everything. Military decisions are made in seconds. Networks enable live video feeds, instant intelligence updates, rapid coordination. Without this, the enemy gains advantage. Now that we understand networking, let's talk about protection because a network without security is a disaster waiting to happen. If we consider the three pillars of cybersecurity, they are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In short, it's called CIA. Every secure system is built on three principles: confidentiality. Only authorized people can access data. If it's broken, there are chances of secrets getting leaked, enemies will gain intelligence. The next thing is with the integrity, data should not be altered. If it's broken, false information will be spreaded. And also there are chances of wrong decisions. The third one is availability, which means systems must stay online all the time. If this is broken, communication will stop and operations will freeze. Especially in military operations, even failure of one pillar can be catastrophic. What happens if security fails? Let's simplify. If hackers read your data, they can modify your data and they can block your system, then definitely there are chances of risks. If they can read your data, it definitely leads to intelligence leak. If they can modify your data, it will lead to misinformation. If they can block your systems, it's definitely a disruption. This combination can defeat even the strongest army. When we say hackers, don't imagine just one person in a dark room. In cyber warfare, hackers are organized, trained, and sometimes funded by governments. There are different types of hackers. The first one is state-sponsored cyber units. These are official teams. They conduct cyber espionage. They try to protect national infrastructure. Sometimes they even attack enemy systems. These are highly skilled professionals. The next type of hackers are cyber mercenaries. These are hired experts. Countries or organizations may pay them. They will also assign specific missions. They try to operate like digital soldiers for hire. The next type of hackers are activists. These are motivated by ideology. They support or oppose governments. They try to leak data. They try to disrupt systems. The next type is with the insider threats. Sometimes the biggest risk is inside. Employees or contractors may leak data. They will try to misuse access and the data may be manipulated. The key point is cyber warfare is not random. It is strategic, it is planned, and it is definitely targeted. You might be wondering, how do these cyber attacks actually happen? And if they succeed, what exactly is at risk? Let's break it down. Now remember, we are not talking about movie-style hacking where someone types fast and breaks into a system in seconds. Real cyber attacks are slow, planned, layered, and often invisible for a long time. It all starts with reconnaissance or silent observation. Every attack starts with information gathering. Attackers try to understand what systems are being used, who has access, where vulnerabilities might exist. They don't attack immediately, they try to observe, they study patterns, they identify weak points. Think of it like this: before entering a building, you study all the doors, windows, and guards. The next step involves finding a way in or initial entry. Once a weak point is found, attackers try to get inside. This can happen through tricking users into revealing credentials, exploiting outdated systems. They will also try to use compromised third-party access. The important thing is, most attacks don't break systems, they enter through trust. The next step involves establishing presence. Once inside, attackers don't immediately cause damage. Instead, they try to stay hidden, they try to maintain access, they try to avoid detection. This phase can last days, weeks, even months. Why? Because the longer they stay unnoticed, the more damage they can plan. The next step involves lateral movement. After gaining access, attackers explore the network, then they try to access other systems, They try to increase their permissions, they try to reach critical infrastructure. This is like moving from one room to another inside a highly secure building. The next step involves target identification. Now, they will decide what is valuable, whether it's communication systems, do they have any intelligence data, do they have any control systems. They focus only on high impact targets. The next step involves action phase. This is where the real impact happens. Depending on the goal, attackers may disrupt systems, they will try to steal sensitive data, they will try to alter critical information. Sometimes they don't even reveal themselves immediately. They wait for the right moment. In the next step, they will exit or persistence. After achieving their goal, some attackers leave quietly, others stay hidden for future use. This is what makes cyber warfare dangerous. You may not even know you have been attacked. Now let's talk about the real damage. If a military network is compromised, what exactly is at risk? The first one is strategic military plans. These are most sensitive. They include war strategies, operation timelines, and target locations. If these are exposed, the enemy can predict moves, it can try to counter attacks, it will gain huge advantage. The next thing is with the communication data. Military communication is highly secure, but if compromised, attackers can access orders, instructions, and coordination messages. The worst part? They may even intercept communication or try to manipulate it. The next thing at risk is personal information. This includes soldier identities, deployment locations, roles and responsibilities. Just in case if this is leaked, personnel can be targeted, missions can be compromised. The next thing to consider is with the intelligence and surveillance data. This is very much critical because this includes satellite images, reconnaissance reports, enemy tracking data. If this is stolen, surveillance advantage is lost, enemy gains awareness. The next thing is with defense technology and research. Modern militaries invest heavily in advanced weapons, AI systems, and defense technologies. If stolen, years of research is lost, competitors gain advantage instantly. The bigger thing is financial and logistics data. This is mostly often overlooked, but it's very important because it includes defense budgets, supply chain systems, equipment movement. If this is compromised, supply chains can be disrupted, operations can slow down. If we consider the key insight, cyber attacks are not just about disruption, they are about information dominance. Now let's step back and understand something critical. Cyber attacks don't just affect military systems, they impact entire nations. Starting from infrastructure disruption, going on with the communication breakdown, economic damage, it will impact on emergency services, psychological impact, and whatnot. When it comes to infrastructure disruption, modern infrastructure depends on networks. If attacked, power systems can fail, transportations can stop, communication can collapse. Imagine a city with no electricity during a crisis. The next thing is with the communication breakdown. If network fails, military coordination stops, emergency response slows, there is a chance of public panic increase. The next thing to consider is the impact on emergency services. Hospitals heavily rely on digital systems, network connectivity. If disrupted, patient care is affected, critical operations may fail. The next thing is with the economic damage. Cyber attacks can disrupt financial systems, they will cause stock market panic, they will impact global trade. The next thing is with the psychological impact. Sometimes the goal is not destruction, it is fear. When people lose trust in systems, there are chances of panic spreads. Definitely there will be a drop in confidence and stability weakens. This is why cyber warfare is powerful. It affects both systems and human behavior. Now let's connect this to emergency situations. During crises like natural disasters, war zones, large-scale accidents, networking becomes a lifeline. When it comes to emergency communication systems, these are used by police, military, disaster response teams, They coordinate rescue operations, resource allocation, and evacuation plans. When it comes to healthcare networks, hospitals depend on patient data systems, equipment connectivity, communication with teams. If we consider disaster management system, these are used to track damage, they are used to deploy teams, they are used to monitor situations. What if these are attacked? Rescue gets delayed, confusion increases, lives are lost. In such moments, network reliability becomes survival. If cyber warfare is this powerful, how do countries defend themselves? And more importantly, are we truly prepared for what's coming next? Cyber defense is not just one tool, it's a layered system. Think of it like protecting a fortress, not just with walls, but with multiple lines of defense. It includes encryption, which protects communication. At the core of secure communication is all with the encryption. It ensures that even if data is intercepted, it cannot be understood. Military systems use highly advanced encryption methods, secure communication channels. Without encryption, every message becomes vulnerable. The next thing is with network segmentation. Instead of one large network, military systems are divided into smaller segments, so even if one part is compromised, the rest remains protected. Think of it like watertight compartments in a ship. If one section floods, the ship doesn't sink. The next thing is with the firewalls and intrusion detection. These systems monitor incoming and outgoing traffic. They will try to identify unusual behavior. They will block suspicious activity. They act like digital security guards. The next thing is with the redundancy and backup systems. Military systems never rely on a single network. They have backup communication channels. They have alternative systems. They also follow fail-safe mechanisms. If one system fails, another takes over instantly. The next thing is with the human awareness and training. Technology alone is not enough. People are often the weakest link, so military personnel are trained to identify suspicious activity. They are asked to follow strict protocols. They are asked to avoid risky behavior, because even one mistake can open the door to attackers. The next thing is with the AI-based threat detection. Modern systems use AI to detect unusual patterns. They will try to predict potential threats. They also respond faster than humans. This is becoming a game changer in cyber defense. The next thing is with the continuous monitoring. Military networks are monitored 24/7, 365 days. Teams constantly analyze traffic. They will try to look for anomalies. They will respond to threats in real time. Cybersecurity is not a one-time setup, it's an ongoing battle. Here is something important to understand. Cyber warfare is not static, it's constantly evolving. We should always understand attackers versus defenders. Attackers find new vulnerabilities, defenders try to patch them. Attackers create new techniques, defenders try to build new defenses. It's a continuous cycle. The balance of power, sometimes attackers are ahead, sometimes defenders catch up. But the reality is, no system is ever 100% secure. The goal is not perfection, it is resilience. Now let's look ahead. Because the future of cyber warfare is even more complex, it's mainly because of upcoming AI-driven attacks. Just like AI helps defenders, it can also be used by attackers. Future attacks may adapt in real time. They will try to learn from defenses. They will become more unpredictable. The next thing is with the autonomous cyber systems. Imagine systems that launch attacks automatically. The same autonomous cyber systems can defend networks without human input. This reduces reaction time but increases complexity. The next thing to consider is with the quantum computing threats. Quantum computing has the potential to break current encryption methods. They can solve complex problems instantly. This could make existing security systems obsolete. They will also try to force a complete redesign of cybersecurity. The next one is space-based cyber warfare. Satellites are critical infrastructure. Future conflicts may target satellite communication, navigation systems, and space-based networks. The next one is expansion of attack surface. With more connected systems, IoT devices, smart infrastructure, autonomous vehicles, the number of potential entry points increases. If you ask me about the key insight, the future is not just about stronger attacks, it's about a larger battlefield. You might be thinking, this is military level stuff, How does it affect me? The answer is simple. Civilian systems are connected. Many systems we use daily are linked to national infrastructure, communication networks, digital services. When it comes to real world impact, if cyber attacks happen, there are chances of power outages which will impact even our homes. Internet disruptions can stop work. Banking systems can be impacted. When it comes to information warfare, even misinformation can influence public opinion. It can create panic situations. It will affect stability. When it comes to cyber warfare, this is not just a military issue, it's a social and societal issue. Let's bring everything together. There was a time when wars were visible. You could see armies march, hear weapons fire, and know when a battle began. But today, wars are silent. They move through cables, signals, and invisible code. There is no warning, there is no sound, it's all with the impact. A system goes down, a message is intercepted, a secret is leaked, and the damage is already done. In this new battlefield, networks are lifelines, data is power, security is survival. The strongest nations are not just those with weapons, but those with secure systems. Because in the end, the next major conflict may not begin with an explosion, it may begin with a single line of code. If this video opened your perspective, please make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Network Fixer. Because here on the Network Fixer, we break down the invisible systems that shape the real world. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye bye.